Welcome to this explainer. Let's jump right in, because today we're looking at one of the absolute most fascinating challenges in modern finance. Okay, picture this for a second. Imagine a massive, towering haystack. But this one isn't made of hay. It's made of millions of emails, chat logs, internal case notes, and just endless streams of messy, unstructured data flowing through global financial firms every single day. And somewhere, hidden deep inside that impossibly huge mountain of text, are the incredibly subtle, cleverly disguised signals of financial crime. Traditional systems, well, they just see the hay. But today, we're exploring the revolutionary technology that can actually spot the needle. Seriously, I want you to think about this for a moment. How do you catch a financial criminal when the evidence isn't in the numbers but in the words? See, we're so used to thinking about financial crime as, suspicious wire transfers, offshore accounts, neatly formatted spreadsheets. But the reality is way messier than that. The real intent, the smoking gun, is almost always buried in human communication. It's hiding in a casual email or a deliberately coded chat message between two traders, or maybe a really complex onboarding narrative. And that exact problem is what we're going to unravel right now. Okay, let's dive right into this. We're going to follow a pretty clear path today. First, we'll hit the unstructured data problem. Second, we'll see NLP in action. Third, we'll look at its limitations and human oversight. And finally, we'll cover the evolving AI threat. Section 1. The unstructured data problem. Finding the needle in the haystack. So, for decades, compliance teams have really leaned on traditional rules-based systems. And hey, those systems are great at reading structured data, amounts, dates, account numbers, that sort of thing. But here's the catch. The vast majority of risk doesn't live in a spreadsheet. It lives in millions upon millions of text documents. And that creates an absolute nightmare for traditional systems to sift through, because they simply cannot read the context. Enter our digital super sleuth, natural language processing, or NLP. This is the branch of artificial intelligence specifically built to bridge the gap between human communication and computer understanding. It lets machines read, interpret, and pull actual meaning from messy, ambiguous human text. And listen, this isn't just some shiny new tech toy. It's a critical capability. In fact, the Financial Action Task Force, the FOF, the Global Money Laundering Watchdog, they've officially recognized NLP as a vital tool for analyzing data that is otherwise just incomplete or totally unstructured. So where exactly is all this unstructured risk actually hiding? We're talking about customer files, incredibly dense onboarding narratives. We're looking at massive volumes of adverse media and news articles, suspicious transaction reports, those internal case notes left by human investigators, and, of course, everyday employee communications. The actual risk signal in all of this isn't a specific dollar amount. It's embedded right there in the tone, the context, and the relationships between the words in these language-heavy materials. Section 2, NLP in action, the AI shield. So, how exactly does this technology act as a high-tech defensive shield in the real world to actively stop bad actors? Well, imagine a rogue trader. They know they're being watched, right? So they don't explicitly type out, "Hey, let's manipulate this stock." Instead, they use a coded message on an off-channel chat app, something like, "Did you secure the tickets for the big game?" A traditional model completely ignores this. It doesn't trigger any rules. But NLP? It sweeps through communication surveillance, flagging that anomaly based on context. It then moves right into transaction and case triage, connecting that seemingly innocent chat to some unusual trading patterns. And finally, in customer risk assessment, it pulls together adverse media to show a much broader pattern of risk. It catches exactly what structured data models miss, every single time, across all three of these crucial steps. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what global authorities are pushing for right now. The FATF explicitly states that NLP can take all that messy free text in suspicious transaction reports and transform it into structured information that supports pattern identification. This is a massive game changer, guys. It means financial intelligence units and operational agencies can finally scale high-quality analysis. They can spot patterns across thousands and thousands of reports that a human could literally never read through fast enough. Both the FCA and FATF point out several key advantages here. And yes, NLP absolutely improves speed and coverage. Yes, it clusters documents and pulls out key entities. But honestly, the most important point is that last one. It reduces noise. Financial institutions already possess a wealth of information. The problem is they're drowning in it. NLP's real superpower is filtering out that massive amount of noise so human investigators can actually focus their time and their expertise on the real threats. Section 3. Limitations and human oversight. The catch. Now, we need a dose of reality here. As incredibly powerful as this technology is, machines still really struggle with the weird, messy ways humans actually talk to each other. Think about a text like this. Yeah, right. The package is definitely delayed again. As humans, we read that and instantly, bam, we spot the heavy sarcasm. We see the air quotes around package and delayed, and we know, okay, this is coded slang for something illicit. But to an uncalibrated machine, it might just take those words entirely literally. It might flag it as a routine shipping complaint and miss the crime entirely. Or, on the flip side, it might start flagging every single mention of a delayed package across the entire company as a high-risk event, which just creates an absolute avalanche of false positives. I mean, just think about your own group chats for a second. The inside jokes, the slang, the abbreviations, the heavy sarcasm, or even bouncing between a couple of different languages. That is exactly why NLP stumbles. Deliberately coded phrases are designed to confuse outsiders, and guess what? That includes AI. If a financial crime model misreads the context, it either creates a massive backlog of false positives that completely waste an investigator's time, or, and this is far worse, it entirely misses a genuinely risky illegal transaction. And that brings us to the absolute necessity of governance. Because NLP has these blind spots, the FCA's AI lab emphasizes that safe, responsible deployment requires some really strict guardrails. You can't just plug this thing in and walk away. Firms need clear ownership of model design. They need incredibly high-quality training data. And most importantly, they absolutely need informed human interpretation. The human in the loop isn't just a best practice suggestion. It is the core of making this technology actually work. The AI points the flashlight, but the human decides what they're looking at. Section 4. The evolving AI threat. The sword. Everything we've talked about up to this point has been about using NLP as a shield. But look, technology is agnostic. It doesn't pick sides. And the exact same AI that's revolutionizing compliance is also being weaponized by the very criminals we are trying to catch. So we're looking at a true double-edged sword here. On one side, you have defensive NLP, our internal surveillance, our control capability, our pattern identification. But on the other side, offensive NLP. The FCA's recent AI review issued a pretty stark warning about this. Bad actors are exploiting these exact same algorithmic advances. They're using AI for automated deception, hyper-sophisticated phishing, and just flawless impersonation. The technology we use to catch the criminals is literally the technology they are using to attack the system. This is the modern criminal arsenal. You can completely forget about those clunky, poorly spelled scam emails from 10 years ago. Today, NLP allows criminals to launch highly targeted, deeply personalized phishing attacks at an unprecedented scale. They can use AI-driven impersonation to mimic the writing style of a CEO or a specific vendor, perfectly enough to authorize fraudulent payments. They are engineering communications-based fraud designed specifically to bypass the traditional controls that banks have relied on for decades. Make no mistake, we are actively engaged in an AI arms race. Ultimately, here is your main takeaway for this explainer. NLP is a phenomenal, indispensable tool. It genuinely solves the unstructured data problem by turning endless oceans of text into actionable risk signals. But it is not a magic wand. Its value entirely depends on strict governance frameworks, incredibly smart data, and even smarter human oversight. At the end of the day, the technology is only ever going to be as good as the people designing, tuning, and validating it. I really want to leave you with this final, provocative thought. As we move into an era where criminals are automating deception at a massive scale, is your AI smart enough to catch them? And honestly, perhaps more importantly, are your humans smart enough to catch your AI's mistakes? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll see you next time.